Hi everyone, Sunday evening video blog for you. I did one of these this morning, and of course I've been keeping you updated on social media throughout the afternoon on our coming snowstorm. But in case you're just now getting in touch with the weather this evening, we've got a major winter storm heading our way with high impacts for a couple of days. And so let's get you caught up on what to expect. Here's the storm right now. It's out across the middle of the country, across the northern plains, the upper Midwest, Minneapolis getting some snow right now. It's a ways away. We're still about 24 hours away from this snow getting underway here. And once it gets underway, it's going to be kind of a long duration event because even though the steady snow is going to try to push east by late Tuesday, we're going to see lake effect Tuesday night into Wednesday. So this is going to be a good 36-hour thumping we're going to take across parts of northeast Ohio and much of northwestern PA as well. All right, the National Weather Service does have a variety of watches, warnings, and advisories out. Don't get too caught up on the specifics here. It's a winter storm watch, Trumbull. It's a winter weather advisory, Mahoning, Columbiana, Lawrence. It's a winter storm warning in Mercer. Don't get caught up on all the differences here. It doesn't really matter. Let's focus on the amounts and the impacts. I would expect that at least Trumbull County goes under a winter storm warning, much like Mercer, as we go into tonight. Might be upgraded in Mahoning as well, but again, that's sort of irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. We want to focus on impacts and on how much you can expect in your backyard. Now, on the timing front here, no problems getting to work and school tomorrow morning. No problems getting home from work and school tomorrow, as long as you're doing it before 7 p.m. I think our snow gets underway pretty close to sunset tomorrow evening. Let me fast forward to, here's 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. And it's not totally unreasonable to think that this might even try to start as kind of a mixed bag of a few raindrops and snowflakes initially, but that would be pretty short-lived. We're going to change over to just snow pretty fast if there is any mixing on the front end. So this gets underway pretty close to sunset tomorrow evening, and then it's just going to snow just about all night. Now there can be a dry slot that works in for part of the time, but just about all night it's going to snow. Some of it's going to be light, some of it's going to be a little heavier, and I expect things to be pretty treacherous Tuesday morning with temperatures upper 20s to around 30. Moderate snow around at daybreak on Tuesday. Now, as we get into the rest of the day Tuesday, I think steady snow continues. We're getting into mid-March, and as we just saw with our snow late last week, the March sun makes a difference if conditions are right. Our ground was real warm last week, so the snow had a real hard time sticking, even at night, on paved surfaces. This time around, even though a lot of this snow is coming during the day Tuesday, and it's March, the ground's going to be cold, very cold ahead of this storm. Our road temperatures, our soil temperatures are much colder than they were a handful of days ago. That'll make a difference. Even though, yes, it's March and the snow will have a harder time sticking during the day than it would in January, I think it'll still stick, especially on untreated surfaces, without too many problems on Tuesday. If it comes down hard enough, it'll stick because the ground is going to be pretty cold. Now, as we go towards Tuesday evening, here's 7 o'clock in the evening, the steady snow is winding down. We're going to start getting these fingers of lake effect setting up, and that will continue into Tuesday night into Wednesday as well. Here's what we did with our snow forecast. Vast majority of our viewing area is somewhere in the 4 to 8 range. We give you a range for a reason because there's always going to be a degree of uncertainty. If you live in Boardman, for example, right now there's probably fairly even odds you get 4 or 8 inches. It could be somewhere in between. It's enough to shovel and plow, enough to cause disruptions. Your best chance of getting more than 8 will be because of that lake effect component to this Tuesday night into Wednesday up in the north. Route 87 corridor, northern Trumbull County, heading over towards Greenville, New Lebanon, and Sandy Lake over in Mercer County. And notice we have the far southern part of our viewing area down towards Salineville, Calcutta, East Liverpool, more in a 2 to 4 zone. I think a lot of places will be closer to 4 than 2 down there, but still, your best chance of being on the low end of things will be the farther south you go, because you're not going to see much lake effect down there, and you might try to get into a little bit of a rip-off zone for a time Monday night into Tuesday morning down there. What I mean by that is a dry slot might try to work in for a time, making the odds of you seeing more than 4 inches lower once you're south of Route 30. Very high impact situation here. I would expect a lot of school adjustments for Tuesday morning. A lot of schools will probably make that call Monday evening, since this is a well-advertised event. It's definitely coming. Not expecting too many problems with power outages with this. We still don't have any foliage on the trees. The snow will start kind of wet and gloppy, and it will transition into a fluffier, drier, lighter, consistency snow as we head deeper into Tuesday night. It'll become a fluffy snow like we had late last week. The previous week, I should say. We just had a wet snow event a few days ago, and that's the way this one will start out, kind of wet, but then it becomes that fluffier snow. We're going to have it pretty bad here, but it could be worse. If you happen to be traveling or have plans to travel in the next couple of days east, bad idea. Heading across the PA Turnpike, heading across 80, you're going to run into higher and higher amounts. Once you get into the eastern half of PA and over towards New York City, there's going to be some places that get 2 feet of snow. From roughly New York City up to just maybe west of Boston. That's going to be probably the sweet spot. So it could be worse. But still, this for us will be one of our biggest storms of the year, waiting until kind of the last minute, winter's last hurrah, perhaps. Be prepared, be ready. We'll get through it. We've had worse storms. But this year we haven't had too many storms of this magnitude, that is for sure. Make sure you're following meteorologist Candace Monticelli. She's in our downtown studios this evening. I'll be back with another video update tomorrow morning, bright and early. And then, of course, I'll be in at 6 and 11 to guide you through this storm on Monday.